Hello, hello, and hello. Well, I hope you enjoyed that photo show of the I Am That Woman Retreat. It's Twyla Jenkins here, the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement. I'm super excited to be here with you. Happy Friday. It's November the 11th. It's 11/11. Today is a good day, but every day is a good day, even 2022. So just want to say hello and welcome. Come on in. It's been a busy week, and any of you who follow me on social media know that this week has been one of the hardest weeks of my life because I lost my fur baby, Winston, unexpectedly while I was out of town at my nephew's wedding. Congratulations, Marcus and Jordan. I pray that your wedding and the love that you guys showed us last Saturday will continue forevermore. But during the midst of them getting married, unfortunately, I got a call that my baby wasn't moving. And then I had a friend come over. Thank you, Nadia Quarles. I cannot say thank you enough for helping Norma Jean and Crystal through what was a very traumatic and dramatic time in my life. Winston was only 9, and while he was diagnosed with the heart murmur, I just knew he would be okay, as the doctor said. But we never know. God always knows. So he's in fur baby heaven with Burley and Sassy and Dina McReynolds, you're in my thoughts and prayers. Pam Oliver, you're in my thoughts and prayers because both of them also just lost fur babies. Anyone else out there? Coach Monique Spence, I know you lost two fur babies in a year. So, any fur babies out there, fur mommies who have lost their fur babies, my heart goes out to you. You're in my thoughts and prayers. And I ask you too to keep me in your thoughts and prayers because it's a lot. They're like our kids. We get so attached to them and their love is so unconditional. So today, this brings me a little bit of joy, actually, a lot of joy, because there's nothing that I love doing more than talking about the I Am That Woman retreat. It was amazing. I wish we could do it every week because to have that sisterhood, that love, that camaraderie, our theme said it all, and we did it all. We reconnected, we refocused, and we revived. That wasn't a part of our theme, but we revived, and we also restored. We've restored our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And I know you guys always hear me talking about it. So I wanted to bring you a couple of people today so you could hear it from someone else. One being our one and only speaker, Dr. Marguerite Mariama, one of our one and only powerful speakers. Dr. Marguerite Mariama is going to be with us, as well as, this is a cross generational event. I know you all sometimes look at us and say, is this for just older ladies? No, it's not. We have Liv Taylor from Hollywood, Florida, who also joined us. And she's a little younger than me and Dr. Mariama. But guess what? She came and she had an amazing experience. And I asked her to share it with you too. So we have these two ladies coming here with us today. You know what? One of my calls that also inspired me to be lifted up today in the midst of all that's going on was with the Hilton Marco Island. Yes, we are already planning for next year. You guys know that the hurricane hit this year, but that just made us already ahead of the ball game for 2023. Mark your calendars right now, October 25th through the 29th. We're going to be at the Hilton Marco Island in Marco Island, Florida. It's amazing. We're starting to put our marketing materials together. The videos, I had already gone. That white sand beach is awesome. I cannot wait for us to put our feet in that sand. But I'm going to tell you right now, these two ladies today, Dr. Mariama and Liv, are going to tell you why you should register for the I Am That Woman Retreat 2023. And without further ado, I bring to you Dr. Marguerite Mariama and Liv. Hey, ladies.
Hey, folks.
How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How about you, Liv? How about you?
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Excellent. Excellent.
I am so grateful for you ladies taking the time to be with us today. Dr. Mariama, I'm going to start with you. We had an interview before the retreat. You gave a little bit about a sneak peek about what you were planning to talk about. And man, did you deliver. Oh my gosh. My heart was just filled. I was overwhelmed. I took so much in. You really took us on a journey. But Marguerite, before we get too far into the retreat, tell us a little bit about who you are. Again, I know you've been our guest before, but for those who may be joining us for the first time, and then you can go ahead and start talking about a little bit of an overview of what you did and experienced at the retreat.
Well, I'm Marguerite Mariama Moore. I don't use the Moore, but I am married, and my husband's name is Ralph Moore, and he's a great husband. So I always want to give him a shout out, give him his
Yes.
due.
Hey, Ralph.
Um, and I am an activist, artist, and educator, and I have been in the trenches for well over 50 something years. I'll just put it that way. And I started, interestingly enough, I was thinking about this earlier. I started out as an activist when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
really, really young. During the student sit ins all over the South. I was living in Chicago, but I spent all of my summers in Thomaston, Georgia with my family. And on one of the occasions, this is again during the Great Migration, we would go back and forth between Chicago and Georgia. And on one of those occasions, I was in the train station in Atlanta, heading north back to Chicago, and the student sit-ins were taking place. And so there was all these college students sitting at Woolworths at the lunch counter, and my great aunt who took me to the train station went to the bathroom. So I found my way over to the lunch counter with those big kids, as we used to call them. And I sat in, and she came out of that bathroom and snatched me off that stool and said, "Oh, no, 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 not on my watch." Well, 2 years later, as a 13-year-old, I actually participated in my first protest march against the Willis wagons here in Chicago. It
Wow.
was Chicago's version of de facto school segregation, and students from all over the city pulled together and we marched against that. So
Wow.
that was the beginning of my foray into the world of activism. And I was an artist. I started out as a dancer. I'm a singer and also an actor, but I live in the realm of dance and music. And so I've used that as a tool to empower young people and older clients as well. And it's a therapeutic tool as I use it. And I've been doing this for, as I said, well over 50 years, both in the university setting and as a private with private clients as an entrepreneur. So I've been around the block a few times, and I had a story to tell at IATW because I
Yeah.
think that the most important thing we can have as human beings is self knowledge, right? And in this country, knowledge of self has been withheld, and it's continuing to be withheld to certain segments of the population, right? So if you decline to tell the story of African American history, then you decline to tell American history because they are one. And our existence here in this country is a powerful reminder of our overall historical power because we didn't start with the 500 years of enslavement and oppression and degradation and dehumanization. We started thousands of years ago on the continent of Africa, and the richness of that history has been deprived from us. So we're talking 300,000 years of history as human beings on this planet, and yet we get stuck in 400 or 500 years of enslavement. We get stuck there, and that's where the trauma lies. And so my presentation was about telling the truth of that history,
Yes.
and with receipts, as the kids say. I brought the receipt. The the scholars who support what I'm saying, but in addition to that, I just wanted people to have an experiential exercise that allowed them to purge through some of the historical and contemporary trauma that really does truncate our development. And so that was that's a sort of a synopsis of what my presentation was all about. But again, those receipts, my personal receipts, are from those 50 years of well over 50 years of experience in the university setting and with private clients and traveling all over the world as an artist as well.
I would say that that was a good synopsis, but you did take us on a journey, and you really did. As I said before, we even went to the retreat, that we were doing a deep dive into who we were as African American women. Because to your point, we don't tell that story, not culturally, not nationally, not as a nation, not as a country.
Right,
We don't share that story, and not just when we landed here. Certainly not the empowerment in which we had before we came to America. And
exactly.
so, and that oftentimes also puts us into a box and makes us very short minded and our lives very short lived on our own self sustaining power, our innate
Right.
ability of identity and who we are. And so you did, you delivered, you went beyond delivery, of making sure that we were mindful in an ancestral, in a historical perspective of some of the things that we still carry as African American women that we can let go because those who came before us kind of bear that cross, right?
Right.
And so, even very symbolic to, I've heard so many say that this retreat is so spiritual. And I think that's just how it's divinely created, that it is a spiritual experience. It is a renewal. It is a revival. But we're spiritual beings. So what else would it be? I mean, we're spiritual beings in this earthly body. So what else could this retreat be? But Mariama, just digging a little bit deeper into that synopsis, what was important for you to make sure that the ladies kind of walked away with? What did you want them to walk away feeling after your presentation?
I wanted them to, first of all, understand that the struggle that we think is a part of our human existence is an unnecessary burden, and some of it is embedded in our genetic memory. And again, I brought the receipts, the science behind all of everything that I'm saying, and that mitochondria DNA that rests within us is there's that trauma embedded in it, and there is a way to release that trauma so that we can have a lot. We can lighten our load.
Yes.
You know, it's a mental, physical load that we've inherited from our ancestors, and
Yes.
this would be our time to release that load and to release it into the realm of joy, because joy, as we know it, is a revolutionary act in the face of what we're going through in this country right now, what we've gone through historically. Joy is a revolutionary act, but it is easily accessible when you acknowledge its existence and release the tension and the trauma that that encompasses it. So it's embedded in that trauma, but the trauma can be released so that we can open up to the joy. And joy is the joy that I really wanted to drive home is the joy of sisterhood.
Yeah.
Loving women as friends, as comrades, as associates, as sources of affirmation, and releasing the idea that there's competition between us, when in fact our journeys are individual journeys.
Yes.
My journey is not your journey.
That's right.
But together we can walk hand in hand on parallel tracks,
Yes.
so that we move forward in and find the essence of who we are in the next evolutionary level of our existence. And so joy is the process of releasing all of the stuff, the gook that 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 we're buried under, that our spirit gets buried under, into the realm of love. And joy and love are really,
That
and they're aligned with God.
yes.
That's
Yes.
it's alignment with God.
Yes.
Whatever God means to you.
Yes. Because God is just pure love. It's pure love and joy. Anyone, my sister oftentimes talks about those videos about near death experiences, and people who have had those experiences and who have been in oneness or connection in the presence of God, said it's just pure love and joy, and it's so unexplainable. And if we could just break down these barriers of the stress and anxiety and the pain and the trauma and the drama of not only our cultural and ancestral, but even whatever our lives may have experienced. This week may have been a bit of a burden because, my fur baby isn't here with me anymore, but I found so much joy in looking at the memories and
Yeah.
the photos and, the time that we had together, the life that we did live. And
Mhm.
sometimes we get bogged down in what we don't instead of what we do, right? And
Right,
so
right.
in who we are, but to your point about that cultural identity, a lot of times we're bogged down into what we don't know. And so we do have to be educated, which
Right.
is why I had Dr. Mariyama to bring the receipts to give us some education on, kind of deconstructing, right? This
Mhm.
ideal about who we are as Black women. And we can have sisterhood and we can have love and we can reconnect and restore and refocus and revive collectively. Liv, you just heard Dr. Mariama talked about what she wanted the ladies to walk away with. Tell us what you walked away with.
Okay, so I feel like you definitely delivered. I walked away with that and so much more. I feel I still don't have all the words to encompass how I feel about the retreat, but gratitude, just an excessive amount of gratitude. My heart is so full, and I know I felt the hearts of the other women there and just the sacred space that was created and that we shared. There were smiles, there were tears, there were hugs, there was laughter, there was release of sadness and stress. And it was just a transformative experience. As women, I know that we give so much and we pour into others, and we're always nurturing and nourishing everyone else. And we rarely make it on our list at all. I won't even say at the top of our list. Sometimes we're not even on it.
True.
And this retreat really was an opportunity to do just that, to retreat from the world, to go within and to be around like minded and like hearted beings. And sometimes I can speak for myself. Um, I feel alone in that. And so this retreat really helped me to realize like, hey, there are more people, women, black and brown women, who also walk a similar path, who also have kindred energy and spirits, which I know that. But seeing it is just confirmation, it's affirmation. So I feel affirmed, I feel confirmed, I feel grateful. I definitely wish more people in my age group would have been there because it's so beneficial for anybody that's walking life as a black and brown woman can benefit from being in a space with other black and brown women who also walk the journey of life. And it's just something sacred and special when we do come together and we learn from those who have already walked and seen. Dr. Mariama saw things that I can only imagine, or I can't even imagine seeing, And you, Twyler, you've walked and seen things that still I can't imagine, just like I'm walking and seeing things that maybe you all haven't imagined. And so when we get together, it's really an opportunity for us to pour into each other and to get our cups filled because you can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to fill ourselves so that we can serve from the overflow. So I definitely feel overflowed and overflowing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And Liv, let's just back up a little bit. Tell us who you are. I know I
Um,
just sprung that question on you after Dr. Mariyama shared what she wanted the ladies to walk away with. But tell us a little bit about Liv Taylor and who you are and where you're from and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Liv Taylor. I live in Hollywood, Florida. I'm from Mississippi. I am a spiritual and wellness entrepreneur. My specialties are yoga and mindfulness, so meditation, yoga, which is basically just spirituality. I love helping people help themselves. And as a person who does help others, who does help others heal themselves and remember who they are, I have to be reminded of that as well. So, another reason I'm grateful for this retreat. How I found out about I Am That Woman movement was through Miss Twyler. And I feel like the divine just brought us together, and she was reaching out to me to maybe offer some services at the retreat. And it just ended up that she had already gotten the slot filled, and She's like, well, have you ever heard of I Am That Woman movement? And I was like, no. She's like, let me send you some information. And then you sent it to me, and I was like, oh my God, this exists. This is wonderful. And then I know you all were really looking forward to going to Marco Island, but I feel like the divine brought you to Hollywood partially for me. So selfishly, I'm grateful.
And that's okay because it was well worth it. I tell you, you are a beam of light, and I was looking for someone to do our sound journey, and so I'm searching because we had 2 weeks to make this pivot when
Right.
the hurricane hit Marco Island. I already had someone lined up, so. But you are absolutely right. Just allowing the divine spirit. So I'm on LinkedIn, and I saw that you are a yoga practitioner at this, particular studio, but they were closing, and I was like, oh God, just send me the right person. And then when we did connect, I had found the three sound bath for our sound journey, and they were amazing. But I was so happy to be able to bless you with one of our AARP sponsors.
Yeah.
And thank you again, AARP, for your support and sponsorship. And so they had some ladies who weren't able to travel due to conflicts. And so I said, you know what? I said, this isn't about, the bottom line revenue. This is about making sure that the right women are in the room. And so God just put it in my spirit. And I asked you, and you had already said that you needed this. When you looked at the website, you was like, oh my God, to your point, you was like, this exists. And I remember you saying before I even knew that the AARP was going to come up, I remember you saying, you have no idea how much I need something like this. You said, I would love to be with other women and like other Black and brown women. And that just stuck with me that you were like, oh, this looks amazing. Like, I need this spirit. And so were you, I don't know if you were expecting anything, but just tell us before you came, maybe you were expecting. And then after you got there, even the first day, kind of like your journey for those couple of days.
Okay, so it was definitely something I was looking forward to. I don't allow myself to get excited too often because it feels like anxiety. So I was ready. I was excited, but I was ready. And I before I came, I knew I needed this. I've been wanting a retreat. I've facilitated retreats. I've held retreats for others. This was my first actual retreat, being able to participate without facilitating, which was divine.
Mm.
So I got all my classes covered. When we first spoke, I knew I didn't have the funds to spare to be able to come. But I didn't say that I couldn't come. I said, I'm going to pray for a miracle. So when you did call me and you extended the offer, I don't think I even let you finish. I was like, yes, 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 God. I just
Woo!
so grateful. And I made all the arrangements and I made myself available to be there. And I was just coming to, my intention was to let go of what no longer served me so that I can be open to receive what I needed. And yeah, just every day I met different ladies, and all the first day, the welcoming was so warm and just everyone was beautiful. The sound journey was beautiful, and the men had it set up so just intentionally. And that's right in my alley with the yoga and the meditation and the mindfulness. So I was just like, and then yoga at 7 a.m. with Miss Valerie. Oh my goodness. That's yoga is my thing. I had a yoga and wellness center for almost 3 years. So to see her, like the representation matters. So to see her young 71 self strong, like, and teaching yoga, I was like, I'm there. 7 a.m., I'm there. Then we had prayer with you, Miss Twyler, which was just, oh, I just get chills thinking about it. It was just a divine, you were just a channel for that to come through. And I felt like everyone could relate to it in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Like everyone has something that they've carried with them for far too long that they don't realize can be healed, can be restored, can be released, can be removed according to your faith, be it unto you. So I feel like it's my faith that led me to the retreat and just being open. I learn something every day. Like, I still don't feel like I have all the words, and I love words, but it's just something you would have to experience. I'm looking forward to next year. I've already told my mom, like, you're coming. I've told a couple of my friends, you need to be there. Why are you there? I know I just found out I was going a few days before, but somehow you should have been there with me. But by the time I left, I just felt more connected to myself. I felt more connected to the women that I met there, and knowing that my tribe is active in the world. Um, a lot of the ladies are like, when you coming to Chicago? And they were like, the next time we have an event. I'm like, yes, I'm coming. So yeah, I'm grateful. My cup is just full and my heart is filled, and I'm just immensely grateful.
That's so amazing. Mariama, you want to share?
I want first of all, I want to say that I receive your inner. Oh, I'm so sorry. I receive your energy and oh, I'm so sorry. Hang on.
It's okay. I know.
I receive your energy. I can't. You know what? I don't have you on the screen. Okay. I guess you can see me, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I receive your energy, and it's so uh, rich and full bodied.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge you for being so open to receive the blessings of that day, because not everybody is open to receiving blessings as they show themselves. You know, people come up with excuses, right?
Yeah.
When the universe says, when God says,
Yeah.
here, sometimes people will say, well, I don't know, because
Mhm.
right? Excuses, tools of the incompetent, right? Um, but you were not there. You were open to receiving the blessing.
Yeah.
And that's why your cup is running over. Because you understood, your spirit understood the sacredness of the experience too.
Yeah.
And so the intergenerational learning that took place, I think, was designed for you, as you said, but it's also designed for your friends and
Mhm.
other young people who have so much to contribute to those of us who are older, and for those of us who are older to share the lessons learned with you so that you don't have to repeat them.
Mhm.
We've already been there, done that, right? So it's our time, and from my perspective, anyway, this is my moment to pour into and to support, to
Mhm.
encourage, um, and to affirm. And I had so much fun doing that. I mean, that moment that we had on the
In the
cruise.
boat, yeah.
Oh my God! Oh, I had so much fun. It was like, oh my God, I this is my sister. This is
Oh, I have the video.
ah. You might want to play that, Twyla.
I know. There's so many. I think we'll stay on when I show these pictures again. Yeah, it's like an overlay. But look at that, ladies. I'm telling
We had
you.
so much fun. Oh my God, we danced together, and to be able to connect on that level for me. Again, dance is my first love, and of course, we know that the purity of spirit flows really easily through movement, right?
Mhm.
Because movement is unchecked. It's unburdened by stuff. So when you are absolutely expressing yourself physically, it's like there are no barriers. And we had that moment together. It was so much fun with
It
your wait a minute, with your fine self.
you're fine. I'm trying to be like
Oh
you.
my God. Oh my God.
See, this is what I love about this is what I
Right. Folks,
love.
you can't see how this young lady is built. She is fine. Oh, we were celebrating the heck out of you, honey. Wait a minute, when you were out on the beach with that bathing suit on, the older ladies were saying, "Look at that! Ooh, look at that body.
Ooh,
Oh, child. That
amazing.
and we were doing that. We were celebrating all of the youngins. I mean, some
Mhm.
of you with your beautiful souls and your beautiful spirits sharing all of that with us was so, I mean, it made us feel like, yeah, the world is going to be all right. Because
Mm.
Yes.
Wow.
these young women understand and own their power. All we have to do is just keep feeding them,
Yes.
nourishing them, keep nurturing them, keep giving them what they need, what they ask for and what they need.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
such a lovely exchange. That's why I hope that the next time around there are younger women there so that
There will be.
we can play together. We can play
Yes.
together. We
I
had so much
felt
together. Oh my goodness.
Yes. I felt so encouraged because I think a lot of younger people, we don't sit at the feet of our, I don't want to say elders, but for lack of a better phrase, we don't sit at the feet of those who have already walked the path, a
Yes.
similar path, because that's where the knowledge is.
Yes.
No, that's where the wisdom is.
Yes.
Knowledge is of the world, but wisdom comes through experiences. And so when we allow ourselves to sit and share experiences, we get to grow. And I was like 75, 72, 71, 60, 55, 40. I said, oh, I'm going to be fine forever. Like, look at these women. Even I just was so, I'm like, oh, I have nothing to worry about. Just don't let things stress me. Stay close to God. Like, keep encouraging myself and my sisters. Health is wealth. And really just, yeah, I'm encouraged.
That's so beautiful. I love, and that's why I even wanted to have this interview today from a speaker's perspective of, Dr. Mariama pouring so much about who we are as African American women into us, to get that after that overview. We had the interview beforehand, but then to bring in that cross generational. And Liv, you just said something so important, which I think is another reason why the divine intention of this being cross generational, even all of our marketing materials had a look of that cross generational
Mhm.
feel to it, right? With the young ladies on it. And so, because to your point, so many other cultures, right? They make sure and they are intentional about connecting
Yeah.
their elders and respectfully those who have walked the path with the younger generations. They understand it's biblical, right? And so, but we, for whatever reason, we lose sight of that. And we do not do that enough. And that's what I did, even at the 43rd birthday party that started all of this kind of stuff, was that's what it was intended to do. I, at 43, wanted to do a check in. How often do we just really sit down and have lunch, right? Or just dine together? And so Mrs. Jackson, Reverend Jackson's wife, is the one who told me about this power that happens when you get us in the room and we talk to each other. And this retreat will go on for as long as it can go on because I witnessed that power. We witnessed that power. You witnessed that power. And it is hard to put into words. I had one of my girlfriends come up to me, and I've been talking about this, of course, for years. And she said, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, I was like, "Why didn't I tell you what?" And she was like, "Why didn't you tell me it was this?" And I was like, "I did." And so she was like, "But it's so hard to put into words." And I said, "You're right. It is hard to put into words." And so we're going to take the video clips, we're going to take the photos, but the only thing that I can do, really all we can do, is encourage women to come and have the experience themselves, because it is so hard to put into words. It's spiritual, but it's nurturing, it's sisterhood, it just goos love. I don't know what other words that you can use, but I love coming down in the lobby and just seeing hugs and just like, and then people going out who've never met before in their lives, going out in the evening time and having fun at the beach, at the pool. I tell people there's more wisdom that's shared outside of that ballroom than there is inside, because you have that one-on-one time. And so I know we love the intimacy because there was only about 50 of us, but I keep telling everyone, listen, we're not going to allow this to grow so big that we lose that intimacy. So you want to register as soon as we open up registration, which will be very, very soon. And so we have payment plans. People are like, I didn't know you have payment plans. Any way that you can get there, I will make it a point to make sure that you can get there, because what you learn, what you share, what you receive from what everyone else has told me is you can't get it anywhere else. Marguerite, you've even said that. You've said, Twyler, you've created something in your 50 years of being in the business of educating, dance, theater, storytelling. You have inspired me to keep this going because you've not witnessed something like this before.
Yeah. And it's so needed. There's so many of us who are in the trenches working really hard, and we're not getting the nourishment that we need. And that nourishment, the height of that nourishment, of course, comes from our interactions with one another, especially when those interactions are filled with love, because that's what we're all here to do, right? To love.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of our cosmic mission, to find a it's our tool, it's our focus on loving in our particular ways. You can't get this kind of experience anywhere else. And I've been to a whole lot of retreats and a whole lot of women's experiences and events. And yes, the intimacy is really important. I think it could get a little bit larger,
Yes.
um, but not a whole lot,
Yeah.
because you don't want to lose,
Yeah.
the focus that the as I said, the intimate energy. It's really integral to our personal evolution during that weekend,
Yeah.
and our ability to really connect on deep levels. And
Yeah.
this is my third year, so I can tell you that there have been larger groups, but I have to say, this one, you pivoted in 3 weeks. This was a monster. This was a monster, because we went deeper than I think we've gone before.
Mhm. Yes.
And I think it was perfectly aligned with this moment in history too, because
I
we're
would.
in a moment of transcendence,
Yeah.
and a moment of convergence and a moment of transformation.
Yeah.
So, this experience gave us some additional tools to move through this period to the next level of our development.
Yeah. Would you agree, Liv?
Yes, it was a holistic experience. Like it wasn't just everything is spiritual because everything is energy, but it wasn't just spiritual. It was mental, it's financial, it was
Mm.
physical. We had so many different sources that were pouring into us to where I felt like we were able to be more full and more whole by the time we left. And I hope and pray that each of us are continuing to, you know, just relish in that fullness because we're always whole, we're always full. We just forget sometimes. We get stuck sometimes. We become products of our environments, but we are in this world and not of this world. So we have to remember that it's important to stay nourished and nurtured, as Dr. Mariama was saying. And that happens through us sharing space and being open and vulnerable. And I just feel like most of the people that came to the retreat, that's what their intention was, to be open, to be vulnerable. And that is what allowed us to go as deep as we were able to go because we were meeting each other in that kindred space.
Yes. Love it. Man, you ladies like,
Yeah.
Ooh, I feel the love all over again. I feel the connection. I feel the sisterhood. Something that we're going to start because, which is the reason why we started the movement. But I think it's important for us to stay connected, right? So the whole theme of this year was to reconnect and restore and to refocus. And so, starting at the first of the year, we're creating these little. I'm not. They're master classes, but I know that's a popular term right now. But I will kind of say that they're stay connected classes because I think it's important for us to have accountability partners, to have a sisterhood that we can go to. And so I'm literally working with Dee Robinson, who is our featured keynote speaker, and a couple of other advisors. Dr. Marguerite will be one of those advisors that we are working with to create our ongoing connection. I think it's important that we just don't do this once a year and then forget and then come back and disconnect and get back into that, to what you just said, Liv, being stuck again, right? And so, but sometimes it's hard because we do have to go back into our environment. And something that you both said, and I want everyone out there, whether you attended in person or whether you watched us virtually, and it's in the whole retreat is still available on our website.
Wow.
Deontay, put our website out there, www.iamthatwomanmovement.org. You can still watch the whole retreat. I need to go back and watch it all over again because sometimes I was pulled away to do business stuff. And so this weekend, my plan is to really, I want to binge watch, like, how we binge watch Netflix and Prime Video and all that kind of stuff. I want to binge watch the I Am That Woman retreat. And I encourage anyone who did not see it or didn't have a time to really focus on it to go back and do that. And you'll feel the sisterhood even virtually. You'll feel the love in the room, and you'll feel the experience. It's not the same, but you'll understand a bit of what we are talking about. And this is just an experience for women who sometimes, I think that they can do it on their own, think that they don't need anyone else, think that the sisterhood isn't important. What I would encourage you to do is not be afraid, because that's fear, and fear will cripple you. And even the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy what you are intentioned to be. And we are intentional about being human beings that share and love on each other. We're not to be alone, we're not to be reclusive. We really are to be together. That's how God even made us. We're intended. That's why the pandemic was so hard, because we're not intended to be at home or by ourselves in our little cocoons. Even a butterfly comes out after he's been in that cocoon and just soars, and he's beautiful, and he doesn't go back into the cocoon. What good is that? Is what the retreat is all about. Don't go back. Keep moving forward. Keep relying on this sisterhood to get you through, to pull you through. I know phone numbers were shared. I know emails were shared. Come on, sisters. Stay connected. Stay connected to the movement through our conversation series, through our morning mindfulness. Stay connected with each other. I know Dr. Mariama's face light will light up if she saw a phone call coming in from Liv, and Liv was like, Doc, I need you right now. Like, I'm having a moment, right? Like, she didn't just meet you, and she's not gonna be like, who is this? No, this is a sisterhood, like forever. Like, didn't I say Wakanda forever? Like, this forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I pray that you all who are out there, who attended, stay connected, who didn't attend, get connected. As we start to depart, Dr. Mariama, what would you want to share? Whatever you want to share, what would you want to share as we wrap up?
I guess the most important thing to me is the idea that um, love be the centerpiece for how we operate our lives.
Yes.
It should be the core principle that drives us forward, because spirit is embedded in love and love is embedded in spirit, right? And if we use that as our operating principle, um, then the world will open us up to us in kind. It really will. So what you put out into the world is exactly what you get back. No matter what how it looks out there. If you operate from faith, you can and you lead with love, you can move through all that stuff. It goes back to what you were saying, Liv. Um, you're in the world, but you're not of it. We're not of this world. We're just visitors. And this the spirit housed in this body is just here to have this experience. And it's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to make a contribution, but this is the fun realm.
Mm.
This is not the struggle realm. We've got to get rid of that idea. We've got to release that idea
Yeah.
so that we can have the joy that we're destined to have if we open ourselves up to it, really. And we have that in tandem with our sisters,
Yeah.
first and foremost. That's the beauty, that's the power, because there's nothing like a room full of Black women who are feeling their power. Nothing like that.
Never like it.
There's nothing that more powerful than that. And loving on each other.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Mariama. Liv, what would you like to share? And as we kind of wrap up.
That just gave me chills. That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like when you go to Thanksgiving and you go to Christmas and you have a few of your cousins and aunts and sisters and mamas and grandmas all together, but it was like multiplied. And oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry, but I'm not gonna cry. I know this is a safe space to cry. I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I lost my grandmother in 2020, and that's the first time that I've lost someone close to me. So I feel like I've been dealing with grief before, and I hadn't. And so to be in this space, it just felt like a really like a big hug the whole time. Like you remind me of my grandma, Dr. Mariama. Like your cheek, like you some just something about you, but not just you. I felt the spirit of grandma, of mama, of sister, of auntie, of friend, of best friend. And it's just a different type of love, and it's beautiful to be in that space and to still feel connected. And like you said, Miss Twyler, like I have forever friends now. I didn't know 2 weeks ago, but now I know, and I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next year's retreat, but also all of the things that you're bringing forth in the new year for us to stay connected. I need this and want to continue to pour into it as well and bring others so that it may be, fruitful and multiply as we are intended. Like you said, Dr. Mariama, this is about joy, and we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Never before have we as Black women been able, I won't say never, but in our most recent history, this is the first time where we can create the life that we desire. We don't have to adhere to anybody's vision of what that is outside of us. And so when we get together and we have that power, ooh, the things that we can create, it's just inspiring.
It is so inspiring. You ladies are inspiring. Dr. Mariama keeps me inspired to keep going with the movement, with the retreat. I love how she pours into me personally. You right. She's like my other mama, my other auntie, I just love when she loves on me. And I love when I see her loving on you and so many others, because that's a part of what we're supposed to do. And I just want to thank both of you for giving of your time, for giving of yourself. All right, I'm not going to put too much out there, but all I can say is next year, if this was powerful, whoo, telling you. And Dr. Mariama's right. She's been at every single one. I don't think she's ever going to break that chain either.
Oh, and the other thing, one more thing, back to what you were saying, Liv, and to you, Twyler. The greatest gift we can give is to love, right? So it's an honor. It's a privilege. I get filled up when I'm giving love. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. You absolutely get to express love. You get to express the God within. You get to share that with other people. There's no greater gift than that. Oh, it is exquisite.
It is exquisite. There is no greater gift. I appreciate both of you, your love. I have felt the love with this week losing Winston. I have felt the love every phone call, every text,
Mhm.
every email. I have felt the love, just girlfriends stopping by to give me hugs. I have felt the love. So I know what it means to have sisters. I have biological sisters, but I also have sisters and mothers and aunts and cousins and best friends, who are just like my sisters. And there's nothing like it. And so thank you again, ladies. I appreciate your time. I'm going to the fur ball tonight, so I got to go get ready. I might come home with a new fur baby.
Oh,
So I'm super excited. I got my, let me, oh, you can't even get it. I was going to show you guys, Honey, a little dog that I'm taking tonight, her little black tie dress.
Oh,
oh,
no.
So she made the news last year because she gets up and she dances. So I'm sure tonight will give me, it's a little bittersweet because this time last year I was putting Winston's tux on and getting him ready to go. But all is well. And I just want to say thank you again. Registration is opening soon, you all. I'm telling you, I am that woman movement.org. Binge watch on these 2 powerful days of the retreat. It won't take you long. It's well worth it. You can even fast forward through our award ceremonies and the little things in between. But go and hear Dr. Marguerite Mariama. Go and hear Kimberly Boyd on meditation, and Dr. Michelle and Dr. Karen Lindsay and Dee Robinson and Cassandra Cummings. Like you said, the whole purpose of this is for us to be holistically, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and I forgot one, but it's all there. And so go and binge watch. It's on our website, iamthatwomanmovement.org. Ladies, I appreciate you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Sure,
Oh, and
between
I'm
now
so happy to have been on with you. Love you. Love you. Oh,
between
wait,
now
wait,
and 365 days, now we'll be together again.
yes.
wait. All right.
All right. That was so amazing. I hope you, hey, Tanya and Shy and Crystal. I don't know, for some reason didn't connect to my personal Facebook page, but I hope you ladies enjoyed, and anyone else out there who's watching. I hope you were filled. I know my heart is filled with gratitude for them sharing. And if you want to be interviewed about your experience, just let me know. If you attended, or if you want to attend, just let me know. Next week, we'll have another speaker, and Dr. Bonita Carr is going to be joining me. She is an attendee, and she too has been here all 3 years. So Dr. Carr is going to come on, and she's going to talk to us about what her experience was. And I'll also have another speaker coming to you because I really want to take the time to do a recap. We've received all of our video footage now, so we'll be doing some snippets, and so we'll be intertwining some of those aha moments that we experienced with our speakers during our interviews as well. Don't forget, morning mindfulness, Monday through Friday. You can join us for prayer and meditation. It's so important to start your day in mindfulness. You do not have to suffer alone in stress and anxiety and the pressures and the ills of life. You can just join us. Diamante is going to put up the banner in just a few minutes. It's a conference call line, 605-313-5104. The access code is 345235. What better way to start your day than with God? So just join us. Don't have to get ready. Just calling in on the phone. If I can get up, so can you. It has definitely changed my life. And then every Friday, I'm right here at 4:30 giving you content, information, and resources on how to live your best life holistically, mind, body, and spirit. That's what we're all about. Check us out. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it, we are here. We're going to pray for them people over at Twitter. I ain't talking about them today, but we're going to pray for them, okay? Money can't buy everything. Let me tell you, it's better to bring people together than to pull people apart. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Until next week, I will see you all. Have a very blessed weekend. And like Dr. Mariama told us, share some love. Bye-bye.